Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Britt Kanawha West Hancock Athletics Podcast. Dan Kroll here, June 24th, 2025. This is episode 136. And tonight I have West Hancock's most recent state champion on here with me, Mr. Giovanni Garcia. Giovanni won the Class 1A long jump state championship about a month ago now. So welcome, Giovanni. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good, and you?
Good. We're good. We're ready to rock and roll here. Talk about some state track, one of my favorite high school events of the year. Like always, this podcast would not be possible or worth it without my sponsors. Tonight, since I found out just a month ago, Giovanni won a state title, I just have my lifetime sponsors and my honoring legends sponsors tonight. So we have Billy Dahlman, Paul Hauge, and the Hartman family and honoring legends. And then my lifetime sponsors, Levi Don Trucking, Window World, Doug and Kathy Zool, Pritchard's Auto, Ewing Funeral Home and Monument Company, Triple B's Food Trucks, Swenson's Hardware, Zach and Chris Schlugger, Nick Schmidt, The Kelly Real Estate, Britt Car Truck Bike and Tractor Night Cruises and Mojo Productions, Mike Muth Welding, Stacy and Carrie Gopel, Main Salon, Jason Gardner with Whiffles Hybrids, Britt Seed Company, Diemer Realty, the Benning family, the Britt Bar and Grill, Trolson Auto Parts, Cliff Howlett, the Britt Vet Clinic, and Richard Wubin with B&B Egg Sales. So thank you to all those sponsors for doing what they do for our community and for the Sanger Legacy Fund. Like always, the Sanger Legacy Fund gives money to the Hall of Fame, which is in a couple months. Make sure you come out to the Brick Golf Course that night. We give scholarships for graduating seniors. We support any athletic and activity funds at West Hancock. Any other community outreach that has a need, we try to help. If you want to go to sangerstrong.com to give, you can do that, or you want to sponsor the podcast, get a hold of me. Way back when, 50 episodes ago, in episode 86 was Curt Diemer, and 100 episodes ago, in episode 36 was Irvin Gomez talking about the 2021 state championship football team. All right, here we go. Giovanni, tell everybody who you are, where you're at in school right now, what's keeping you busy, what other sports you do, all anything you want to share.
Uh, my name is Giovanni Garcia Lopez, 16, going into my junior year. Uh, the things that are keeping me busy are basketball and track. That's what I'm doing right now. And um, everything, like work, is going well and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do for work in the summer?
Oh, I work with my dad construction, and then with my friend, I detail cars with him, and it's really fun to do it.
Nice. Good. Just
Mhm.
right there in Britt, you get people coming from all over to have you detail.
Justin Britt.
Mostly in Britt.
Yeah.
Good. Good deal. Yeah. Might have to bring my car up to you. It's in desperate need right now. So yeah, like I said, Giovanni won the state championship in the long jump just about a month ago in Class 1A. We're also going to talk about a couple other things he's done athletically and school and stuff. Then we'll get talking about that state championship. He's one of many individual and relay state champions we've had in our school's history. So it's always fun to add to that collection of state champions. So you told me in our conversations that you wrestled for 1 year, your freshman year. I think you said you wrestled a varsity match or two. Talk about wrestling for Coach Sanger for 1 year.
Yeah, I think it was fun. I just wasn't really, I wasn't built for it, but I like the wrestling meets, which was fun with everyone. I saw everyone wrestle. Kellen was there my freshman year. He was a beast. I liked watching him, same as Teague. They were both good. Um, or my varsity match, I didn't do so well. I was a 132 JV, and it was just difficult. I couldn't handle it.
Yeah. Yeah. I got telling you before we hit record, I wrestled one match in third grade and I was like, these guys are nuts, man. They're if you're a good wrestler, man, you're just tough and you're built different and have a different mindset and mentality than a lot of people. So I was a basketball guy, and then you jumped into the basketball world last year as a sophomore. You played for Coach Jordan Savoy, who took over the program this last year from Jay Hiscox. Uh, you said wrestling kind of wasn't your thing. Why the switch to basketball, though? Have you played basketball in the past, or was it your first time doing it as well?
I've been playing basketball in the past since the start of seventh grade. But when I was younger, I used to go out to the courts with my cousin at Kanawha. when I used to go over, and we used to play there too. And then basketball with Savoy was really good, especially with a new coach that I don't really know.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Good. Yeah. Practices are a little easier, aren't they, in basketball than in wrestling? Yeah.
yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's just a different type of thing you got to do. So, I did put on us on bound. You scored 3 points. You made a shot and you made a free throw. Um, are you hoping to have a good season this coming year?
Oh yeah, I'm practicing more out of season, shooting up shots at the basketball court at the park by the school,
Yep.
and then trying to get better so I can get more playing time.
Good. Good deal. And then the other sport you played, football. We all know West Hancock football is pretty decent right now, I'd say. You got to play 2 seasons before some injuries sidelined you there for your last couple years. You got to experience 2 state championship games. In 2023, as a freshman, West Hancock won the state title with a 12-1 record. You got to carry the ball in one of those games in the regular season. You got to carry for 6 yards, which is kind of the West Hancock way. Every time a running back touches that ball, they're getting 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. Talk about being part of a state championship team. Your first year playing high school football. What was that like?
Oh, wholesome, exciting, and everything. When we won, I ran out the field, started hugging everyone, celebrating. It was really fun, cool, and I kind of like started tearing up because that was my first time winning a state champion with like everyone.
Yeah,
It felt like family there too.
yeah, yeah. That game was nuts. We were down
Yeah.
8 to 10 points at any given time, and then we'd score and get it down to two, and couldn't get the 2 point conversion. They'd score again, get up by 9 or whatever, and it was like, man, we just are we going to be able to get 2 scores without them scoring one? And somehow, some way, we did that 7.5-ish minute drive that we had. Give us what that 30-28 win. That was took a lot of gained a lot of people a lot of gray hairs that day in the crowd. I know that for sure. So uh, then your sophomore year, just this last year in 2024, you guys made it back to the state title game. Injury after injury after injury. We kind of ran out of gas there at the end and lost to Tri Center 14-10. You had 12 carries for 52 yards. The highlight, though, Hall of Fame night against Belmont Clemmy. You fielded a kick at the 15-yard line and housed it 85 yards for a touchdown. I was up in the press box doing Hall of Fame stuff that night. I was like, who is that guy? He's quick. I remember watching you house that one. I think we had a couple other returns for touchdowns that game as well. Talk about your sophomore year of football and um, getting back to the championship game.
Yeah, it's really fun playing with older people, especially when I haven't really played that much my freshman year, varsity. It's really different. But that kickoff, I was excited that I got a touchdown. I was also nervous because someone was right behind me too and tackled me when I got in the end zone. I was kind of scared. Uh,
Yeah.
at the dome, it's really different because those people are way bigger than me, stronger and faster. It was kind of hard to play in there because all the noise, it's so loud,
Yep.
and I was just nervous because it was my first time.
Yeah. And like I said, with injuries, you got kind of tossed into a tough spot there, didn't you? And stepped up. And I thought you younger guys did an admirable job stepping in there when you had to in such a big game and such a different atmosphere. So kudos to you guys. I mean, your 2 year career, what do we have for record? 12-1 the last, so 24-2, and then state championship and a state runner up. How'd you do on JV? How was the JV team this last year?
Those are good. We only lost one game, which was a Bell. No, it was like 8 man mixed with
Oh,
11. Yeah,
Garrigan.
here
Yep.
again. Yeah,
And
which
that's
was
such a weird thing where they,
yeah
yeah, yeah,
confusing.
yeah. The problem is a lot of teams don't want to play West Hancock anymore in JV, and
No.
so Garrigan said we'll play you, but it's got to be kind of a mix. So I think when we were on offense, it was 11 man. When they were on offense, it was 8 man, and that just you're gonna have some weird mistakes because it's just a different animal of playing two different types of football in one game. So yeah,
Yeah.
so. You gonna try to stay involved in the football program at all these next 2 years, or what are you thinking there?
Yeah, I will. I'll probably be a manager for
Good.
that.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's good to hear. It's just such a good program to be around. So
Yeah, it is.
before we get to track here, let's talk about school. What are some of the teachers that have influenced you in a positive way at West Hancock High School?
My English teacher, Miss Winters, she's really nice, positive, and she always like when we're in bad mood, she like brighten us up, kind of in a
Good.
way. Yeah. And then all the teachers there are nice. They work good and they're hard, everything.
Good. Holly Lang's a good friend of mine, Mrs. Lang, so I always keep
Yeah.
up with her and see what she's doing. Miss T, can't, no one can say a bad thing about Miss T. She's just such a dedicated teacher and know Mr. Peterson pretty well from some of the work I do. And you guys, Mr. Sanger, of course, you guys are in pretty good hands there at the school. So yeah, so
Mhm.
let's talk some track here. That's what we're here for. You're, like I said, the most recent state champion in our um, long, illustrious, successful track programs between Kanawha, Britt, and now West Hancock boys and girls. We have so many state champions in individuals and relays and as a team. You're that next one. It's pretty cool to be a part of that list. We've had some really big names, some really great times and great jumps, and we're well known in the state for our track and field program. So, Coach Sanger came back to coach the boys this year. He was the girls' coach for several years. I think he had a gap year, ended up taking over the boys when Mr. Welp left to go back to his hometown. What was it like having Coach Sanger be your coach for track as well?
Nothing all different, really. It was basically all the same. Uh, he worked us a bit harder, though. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
And then our other coach, I kind of forgot his name. Oh, Cook, William Cook. Yeah, he's been there for my 2 years, past 2 years.
Okay.
He's really good. He's the one that coaches me on long jump and pushes me all the way through. Yeah.
Yeah, so as a freshman, 2 years ago, almost you could say, or last year, you had a long jump personal record of 20 feet 4.5 inches. And I didn't see any individual. Did you run any events, or did you strictly do long jump as a freshman?
Well, at the start, I was running at the indoor Humboldt. I kind of messed up my hip flexor right there, which I was out for like a month, I think, which was really a bummer.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the season, Coach Welp didn't want me to run because he didn't want me to injure it even more. So I just jumped all season.
Okay. What led you to long jump? Was it the coaches that said you should try this? Was it something you had wanted to do? How'd long jumping come to be?
It's something I wanted to do. Uh, I've been, I started jumping my seventh grade year, which was really fun. And then my seventh grade year was 16 feet. And then my eighth grade year was 18, 2 inches, I think, which was really cool to see me improve by 2 feet.
Yeah. How'd that get you at like the conference meet in middle school? Did you win a title or were you close?
Well, honestly, I don't even know. I forgot.
Yeah, middle school, yeah. I get that. Then
Yeah.
your freshman year jumping, like I said, 20 feet, 4.5 inches. How'd you do at conference and at districts that year as a freshman?
Conference, I got second. And then districts, I got third versus this two people. And yeah.
So refresh my memory here. The district champ makes it to state, and then after that they go by the next like 8 jumps, I believe. Were you close to state at all as a freshman, or is it a little ways off?
I was kind of ways off. I bet 19.6 or 19.8.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would have jumped your PR of 20 feet 4.5 inches, would you have probably made it to state on that day, do you think? Would it have?
Well, it would have been close because the guy that got first, pretty sure he jumped a 20 feet 4 inches.
Okay, so yeah, you would have been right there.
Yeah.
Did that motivate you in between freshman year to sophomore year, get in the weight room, get stronger, get faster? Was that a factor for you not making it that freshman year?
Yeah, it was. It was a bummer that I didn't make it my freshman year because that's all I wanted to do, go to state. So
What'd you
I
do in
worked
the off
hard.
season then?
I worked out with Irvin Gomez and
Yep.
then Gustavo, which was hard, but it got me to here, state champ.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Irvin's a good dude. Like I said, I think it was 100 episodes ago now I did an episode with him, so that's kind of cool. You brought him up. Super good dude. And Gustavo, he's gonna have himself a good senior year of football, I'm sure. Uh,
Yeah.
so this last year, sophomore year, 2025, you ran the 100 a couple times. You ran the 200 a little bit. And then in the long jump, your specialty, your PR for the year was a 22-foot 6-inch jump. Talk about the season. What'd you do to kind of get yourself ready for conference and districts and state?
I watched my diet because sometimes I just be eating junk food, which isn't good for me. So I watched how I eat. I worked out on my legs, my hip flexors, my hip ability, which probably helped me a lot because I need to work them out to make myself jump higher. And then I worked out my legs to like bounce them up higher, kind of. That's, yeah.
In a normal practice, how many times are you long jumping, or are you doing other drills to work on that explosiveness? What's a normal practice look like for you?
Well, at the start, I warm up with the whole team, all that. Do my warm ups, run, do some stuff that Singer wants me to do on like the track with the team, and then Coach Cook has a little sheet that has the stuff that he needs me to do. And they're
Mhm.
like 5x1 box jumps, little one, big ramp, and then big box and all that.
Yeah, so it's not just get 20 long jumps in today, it's more stuff that leads up to being successful at that.
Yeah.
Yep. And then how many times would you actually perform an actual long jump at a practice? Sometimes would you not at all, or would you at least try to get a couple jumps in every day?
I rarely jumped.
Really?
There, yeah. I only jumped like I say 5 times, two, three at the end to get like ready for state track to see where I was,
Yeah.
and then two like at the start to see where I was at too.
Yeah. Get your steps down, get your timing down and all that. So
Yeah.
good. Conference as a team, you guys took third, which is pretty good for us because we're one of the smaller schools in our conference anymore, and you got Osage and Garner and Forest City. There's some bigger schools. You won the conference title, 22 feet 6 inches. Gustavo, who you mentioned already, took third. In between you was Max Wilkerson from North Iowa. He jumped 19.7. So you won the title at conference by almost 3 full feet. That give you some good confidence heading into districts and state, I would assume.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Do you remember? I didn't write it down. Do you remember what Gustavo jumped?
Pretty sure it was 19.4, 19.5.
Okay. So he was pretty close. You were pretty close to taking one and two at conference. That's good.
Yeah.
Um, Districts, the thing that really stands out to me at the district meet, you guys beat St. Ansgar for the district title by 0.83 points. You had less than a 1 point victory, which a win's a win, obviously. But man, it doesn't normally get that close. All that difference is you, instead of getting first, you get second, and St. Ansgar wins the title, or our 4x1 gets fourth instead of third. Every point matters in a meet. And I've always said about Coach Sanger's dad, Bob, who I had in school, that guy was a master of knowing exactly who to put where to get the maximum amount of points possible in a track meet. And I'm guessing Mark is very similar. He's won a state title in the girls' side, a couple runner-ups. He knows what to do as well. So pretty cool that you guys won a district title and won it in such close fashion. Um, at districts, I didn't see any stats in bound. How did you do in the long jump? Do you remember what your winning jump was there at districts?
I jumped 21.4.
Yeah.
That day was super windy, so it wasn't my best.
Yeah. Was it still a decisive win or was it pretty close?
No, it was a decisive win.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I went unbound and districts don't. It's not updated yet, so I have to give Coach Sanger a hard time about that. So, do you remember who you beat?
I beat North Butler kid, and then Gustavo Gomez. He got second, third, and then that North Butler kid got second.
Okay. Did he end up going to state, the North Butler kid, or did he not make it on his jump? Didn't make it.
Mm-mm.
No. Yeah, because I think the district champ makes it, and then it goes by jumps after that. So it just depends on where you end up compared to everyone else in the state. So you go to state, your first time at state, you go to Drake Relay, Drake Stadium, a little bit bigger than Sanger Field, a little bit more bleacher space, a lot more people with watching you. How are your nerves going into the long jump at state? Were you feeling calm, or was it like, holy crap, this is something else?
At the start, I was nervous because a bunch of people would see me jump. I just didn't want to mess it all up.
Yeah.
But towards like the jump, the run throughs, I just got calm, steady, and all that because I didn't want to mess up.
Yeah. So your jumps went 21 feet 5 inches, and then again you went 21 feet 5 inches, and then your third jump was 20 feet 4 inches. What happened in between jumps from jump two to jump three there? Because jump four was 21 feet 3 inches. Jump three just a little bit off, or got in your head a
Yeah.
little bit, or what do you remember about that third jump that was about a foot less?
My run through wasn't good, and I was also behind the board as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you fix that for the next one? Because you went from 21.5, 21.5, 24 back to 21.3. You just kind of reset yourself there.
Yeah, I just ran through again and then got on the board, which Cook always wants me to do because I'm not so good at getting on the board.
Mhm.
Yeah, but when I got on the board, that's when I knew it was a good jump.
Yep. And then you scratched,
Yeah,
and then you got your championship winning jump on your last jump, right? Uh,
yep.
22 feet, 2.75 inches. When you landed that jump, did you think you had a pretty good chance at winning it? Uh, I don't know the scenario. Was it the last jump of everybody? Or was there more people to jump after you?
Well, it was my last jump for me, but there was one more person jumping after me.
Okay.
He was a guy that was first already, but when I jumped, I honestly thought I scratched, but I didn't because I was on the board really good. And then Cook William, Coach Cook said he could have put a piece of paper there. And then, yeah, that's what he said at conference too. That's when I got my 22.6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing. You're a state champ, but an inch, a millimeter sometimes is the difference between being a state champ and being second, third, fourth, fifth, or I always think of the shuttle hurdles. Like there's 50 chances for disaster in a shuttle hurdle race. Like you could be the fastest shuttle hurdle team, but one little slip up on a hurdle, you don't even place possibly. So there's just a fine line of error that you can have there. So the kid's name London Franklin from New London, I believe was his name, unless I put London down twice accidentally, but his last name's Franklin. He was the runner-up at 21:11.25. So your last jump, and then he had to jump one more time, and he was still a couple inches short. So at that point, obviously, you knew you won the state championship. What were your feelings and emotions when you realized I did it?
Uh, I was speechless because it's my first time winning a state champ all by myself. And then something I always wanted to do too, so I was also happy. And then Coach Cook was really happy too. We hugged each other too after we found out that I won. And then Sanger was there too.
So Sanger was there
Probably
with you the whole time. I didn't know if he was with a thrower or something at that point.
pretty yeah, he was watching me and the shuttle hurdle too.
Yeah. Do you remember what
Yeah.
Coach Sanger said to you?
Uh no, I
Kind
forgot.
kind of a blur. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then your teammates, I'm sure, were happy for you. There were several of them there running some other races. Ray was throwing the shot. You got 10 points for your team. Ray got 6 points for the team, taking third in the shot put. That gave us 16 team points and a 16th place finish at state. If you look back in our school's history, when Bob Sanger was the coach, and now with Mark and some others in between, with Welp in between. We have so many top 20 finishes, top 10 finishes, state champs, runner-ups. This was just another good team in a list of many good teams. So pretty cool to see. You got a state title. You guys were top 20 in the state, and we got some other events down there. So what else? What else can you say about your state championship?
Uh, crowd was, well, the fans that were there from our school was going crazy too. And then my teammates were also proud of me
Yeah.
and all that, yeah.
So you're a sophomore, gonna be a junior now in a month or two. You got 2 more years to really do some damage here. What's your mindset? What's your preparation look and sound like with 2 years to go and some potential to do some really special things?
Uh, work harder, eat better, and I'm by my senior year hoping to jump a 24.
24.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the state record is? Have you looked that up?
Pretty sure. No, I haven't.
I didn't look at that either. I'm curious, sky's the limit. You got 2 years to, really, like I said, do some damage. That'd be pretty cool. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Giovanni. Really cool. My rule is you win a state title in any fashion, you get a podcast episode. So you're on this list of there's a lot of legendary people that have done this podcast with me, and you're on that list now for doing what you did. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You bet. So coming up on the podcast, everybody, I got Kennedy Kelly, Paul and Connor Sonius. I got Jesse Barker, Lana Wicks. She was a Kanawha track and field stud back in the 60s, lives out in California. She's going to do an episode with me and talk about track from Kanawha way back then. And then Tony Morris is another Kanawha standout. He won a couple state championships in track, so kind of a cool connection there. Yeah, Giovanni, I appreciate you coming on here. Best of luck. You got basketball coming up this winter, and you got track coming up next spring. It'll be here before we know it. So, yeah.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add?
I just want to thank my family for being there, supporting me. Same as my teammates and coaches pushing me through all of it and all that. Yeah.
You bet. All right. Well, thanks again for coming on, and we always end this with Go Eagles.
Yep. Go Eagles.
You bet. Take care, man. Thanks.
You too.